Hey guys, Jesse here. It's about 12:05 on a Friday night, and I have just approached a checkpoint. And so I've stopped a little bit short of the checkpoint to give you guys kind of a quick rundown on what to do when you encounter a checkpoint, because a lot of people get really nervous at checkpoints. First of all, let's go through what checkpoints are and what checkpoints are not. A lot of people think checkpoints are DWI checkpoints. That's not true. At least in North Carolina, DWI checkpoints have been ruled unconstitutional. They can't set them up. You cannot set a checkpoint for the primary purpose of checking for a DWI. What they can set up are called license checkpoints, which all checkpoints in North Carolina are. What a license checkpoint means is that you go through, they're checking to make sure that you have a valid license, because having a valid license is something that you have to have as a North Carolina driver. Upon giving them the license, they check your license and they can kind of observe other things. So what they're looking for after they've checked your license is they'll check to see if you have a headlight out. They check to see if your license is, expired. They look to see if your registration is expired, if your insurance is lapsed, things like that. And this is when you can kind of get yourself into trouble, because the police are going to ask you questions and, you may answer them and you can mess up. You can tell them that you've been coming from a bar and that you had a couple drinks. Bam, now you're under investigation for a DWI. You can open your mouth saying anything, and you had a drink an hour ago. Now there's an odor of alcohol. Bam, you're under investigation for a DWI. It's not quite that simple, but you really can just get yourself in trouble. But all that they can legally do is check your license. And so instead of being worried about checkpoints, what I call these are just shut the heck up points, because that's really all you got to do. You don't have to answer any of their questions. You don't have to do anything except for give them proof that you have a valid non-expired license. So we're going to go through this checkpoint. You're going to see that I have my window cracked just about this much. There's like an inch cracked here. I have my license, registration out. I'm going to go through. We're going to hand them license and registration, and we're not going to say anything. And that's all you have to do. Let's check it out. So I'm about 5 cars back, maybe. You guys can see this is a pretty extensive checkpoint. They've got probably 30 officers out here. So this is the real deal. But just keep in mind, it's a license checkpoint. It's to check for your license. Something I want to add real quick, don't feel nervous. Just because the police ask a question doesn't mean that you have to answer it. You do have the right to remain silent. You don't have to say anything that's incriminating. It's tough. One of the hardest things to do as a driver is to be quiet, and you feel like you're being rude by not responding to a question if an officer asks you, but you're not being rude. You're exercising your rights. And, in addition to that, like I always say, film everything. Yeah, we're about 3 cars back now.
How you doing, ma'am? We're just waiting on you.
There's about 15 cars parked in the median, probably from people that have been arrested tonight going through these checkpoints. It's really a shame. Alright, we're moving forward now. Something else that's probably going to happen is they're probably going to stick their flashlight right up against the glass and look in the car. They can do that. They're looking to see if anything in eye view is illegal. You know, for God's sakes, don't have a beer sitting in your car, something like that. You know, don't have anything that can incriminate yourself. Aside from that, you should be fine.
I did not take that.
How you doing? You roll your window down for me? Roll your window down for me a little bit further, okay? Just a little bit further. Can you roll your window down for me? Where you coming from? Still live in Raleigh? Have a good night, sir.
See that? He asked me questions. He asked me to roll your window down. You didn't have to do none of that. Just license, registration, be on your way. Stay safe, guys.